And that's what we're going to do today. Say hello to the Beaufighter man. And his mate sits in the back. And that's what we're going to clean up on today. I'll brush all that off and then start a cleanup. Alright, we got second camera shot started. I've cleaned off the dust that we've got on here. And we're looking at a Bristol Beaufighter Mark something or other Nightfighter. Used to be NGR, but all that stuff, nearly all the decals on this one, or the decals, have all gone. So that's a total redo. Some of the radar pins have come our way, but that's alright, I can get that. The decals, the decals would be the hardest one to replace, but I have another one in a box format which has the NG, but I don't think it's an R. But it's still of the same squadron as extras in the set. So the other one I want to make is normal Beaufighter. I made this as a nighttime fighter because it was something different, and geez, when you look at it, it is huge. Twin engine on the first, I think I'd already done the Messerschmitt 110, but this is like, eats the 110 for size, it really does. So, that should be, now that I've taken most of the dust off it, it should be a fairly quick clean anyway. Alright, that one's totally gone now. Yeah, that wing piece there is as big as a Hurricane's wing anyway. So be good to give it a coat of spray matte and a little bit of probably, yeah, really come up with some weathering, so it hasn't had any gloss paints or anything like that on it, so I didn't even really weather it that much actually, might have on you when I look at it, because it's black. Yeah, it's a rather large area of opportunity to bring this one really back to life. Shouldn't come off, it's just the glues let go. That comes off. Come on. That comes off. Now that that's off. Oh. Have a look what that glue used to do. It's rubbish when you think about it, but it was all you had, so that's what you used. Yeah, it gets a nice burnout on the engine exhaust. Oil leaks massively on that. That should be looking good. Definitely need to clean this up. That's a mark on the inside. I think that's my fingernail. Come forward. And there's a man in there. lost the tail wheel. But I've probably got that somewhere. One can only hope. Give this a hit, see if it scratches off. No, she was a big plane, alright. Yeah, there must have been. Now, who made this one? I think it's a Revel or Revell. Depends where you grew up. I'm not sure, but I'll put it up in the highlights anyway as to what breed she was. Somehow thinking Revell. Yep, no, tail section parts totally gone. A couple of spots of red. A little bit of scratching and they'll be gone. I think I'll spray paint those on because I don't think the kit will have spares. But when you look at it on this side, I could probably mask around that and just spray it. Do the cut, do the spray, and that'll be done. It's pretty distinct. Even the numbers underneath are gone. Let's just splattering that all up. Total history. Alright, keep working on it. There's the radar operator in there, he's facing forward. Wheels are still prime in here, I'll try and keep those perfect. And all that's missing is some covers for the wheels to go in, so I can fix that because I have them. Yes, it certainly does make a big impression when you put one of these on your shop, I tell you. Black being, as I said, doing a black one, that was just game on my behalf, I suppose, because I'd never done one, but it just looked totally different. I think I'd read a book about a pilot who converted to these when they first came out. I think they were doing single seaters, Spitfires or Hurricanes or something like that, and then he converted to Mosquitoes for a bit, but that was difficult. And when they got these, he said these were the bee's knees for night fighting over England when the German raids used to come through. And he was testing a whole stack of different equipment. They were making them faster than you could shoot down planes. The next variant, next upgrade. So it was pretty interesting. forget who the pilot was who was doing the chat. Now that I've got that off, I could do an upgrade. See, it really doesn't need that much extra work to make it displayable again. But if I did that, that would be definitely an upgrade, that's for sure, while I do that. When I do that. Good idea, Helly, you just talked yourself into that. Does this one come off? Yes. Haha, white ball. We're still finding them. Propeller. And I'd have to snap that off, so I'm not going to do that. But I can get in there at least and get the engine. Okay, for the upgrade, I will cut this off, obviously. And run with that. Looks good. Yeah, that was a, don't rub it out, that was a transfer as well. The instrument panel there I was just looking at was a decal. So that's alright. What they should have done is some also for down the sides where all the switches and the workings are. That would have been nicer, because all I had to do there was just give it a bit of silver paint and dry brush it, so to speak, to get it up to speed. Alright, what have I missed? I did out there, did that, engines were, oh yeah, get that engine cowler hang, we never did that. We did that in, that came up good, that was in bronze. Okie dokie, like that. So gloss, coat, fix up some of those. So there's 4 machine guns on that side, 2 machine guns on that side, 2 lamps, 2 little radar arrows they were, like arrows anyway there. You got 2 on there and 2 on the bottom. Which I haven't, I've seen that somewhere to go. Those little antennae, which I can fix. There's one missing at the bottom. Arrows are the hardest one, and there's a big arrow that goes off the nose. Wheel covers, got them, bit of glue, all fixed. Look at that. No. Bit of white left on that one. Good. Now here's look at it, splinter. Now that's could be a problem. I don't know where that went. How easy is that? nicely. I'm just pulling that over the top of it ever so lightly. I don't want to scratch anything. And that's that's gone. Remnant of the blue circle there. So that was the death of that decal. You got one there. What does it say? Trestle. Alright, tail wheel. Aerial. Decals. Put some more detail on that, and put that back on, which I've got. Put those on. That's pretty good. Alright, we shall call that a clean. So, oh hang on, no it's not. It's not. It's good. I did do a bit of edge wear, not the cut, but the makers, but that. Edge wear on those blades, which is cool. Hilly, you get in trouble if you look at that. There's those push outs. You didn't do anything with those when you were cleaning them, building it. The purist would have you, sunshine. Cleaned up most of them most of the times when I saw them, but in most cases they're always put somewhere where they're not going to be seen. Within the body of the machine. Jolly good. Alright, said Fred, we'll call that done as it is. Excellent. Thanks. Rightio. Welcome to another clean. And this one here is not too bad. Spitfire MkV. Hasegawa, I think. Yeah, it was a undercover Troppo, dark colour with clipped wings, with the tropical pack, or this one here, which I thought was totally different because of the new colour from being green and brown, which was all the early versions. Spitfire, Hurricane, everything it did was green and brown, and this was grey and green, so that was different. As normal, this one came with a pilot as well, and what's happened is I've cleaned him out, I've opened him up, the joystick actually fell out of the hull. Probably because I've pushed him in and out, pushed this fella here in and out a couple of times, and other than that, it's a good one. This one won't need too much cleaning, little weathered, which is good. I'm missing a wheel cover, and I bet I know where that is with the other Spitfire parts in the one Spitfire Mark 1 that decimated by my my son, when he was about 3. Took it off the shelf and took it out the grass and played with it. There weren't too many pieces left. I'll give her the old rub and scrub and should come out pretty good, I reckon. Alright, standard wings first. Okay, you go and sit over there. See how this reacts. Pretty good. Bit of the decal dropped away there. There's a 5, which is there. It's got the 20mm cannon and still got 2 303s in it. I've highlighted where the panels go, so pretty good. A little bit of loss of there, but and again, when you think of it, okay, it's decal, but think of it in terms of that it's actually paint, and all the paints were subject to wear. It chipped off, and so I'm not going to be too perplexed about that one. In fact, might even leave it that way. Look at the other wing. That's what I've been noticing too, is everyone weathers a plane and all that. They get in there and they do the black wash all over it and that, and they leave this beautiful, pristine, plastered decal that hasn't, it looks like it was put there the day after, the day before they wanted to take a photo of it. You know, and, oh, here is this thing that's been out in the wilderness for bloody 6 months, and oh, sorry, we painted the roundel on it yesterday. Just doesn't seem right. I like the idea of actually painting the roundels or any of the insignia for whatever bloody country you got. I like that idea of painting them on because, yeah, it makes it look thing. Something about the decals that really sort of, I don't care, mate. Well, you get them to sit down and everything, they still look artificial. They do rather look artificial. When I put these on, you're lucky if anyone knew about painting them on themselves. It was something that wasn't done too much. So I get a little bit too carried away with the glue there. Yeah. Oh, blame the glue. That's all you had. We did that wing, we're up to here. Did the right thing. It's not red. I love that part that's being debunked on the by the crew now. Someone painted it red and they all became red all of a sudden, which is wrong. So yeah. The only downside here is the decal silvering, it came off, so be careful. And going colorations behind. That's the only downside to these, but they're that old. They weren't sealed in. That just rubbed off a bit. is alright because that was the mouldy looking bit. Okay, area of opportunity on the rebuild. Not that I'll have to do too much of this. I'll glue those parts back in quickly. We'll do that other side here and see if now that I know the decal might come off. Just be careful. Have a look here. It's moving, it's taking the edge out of that decal. But then again, you get down to a point where possibly you're scratching the paint. Is it worth it? Don't know. Actually, get down to the paint. The paint's yellowed, so that's pretty good. That. Weather just need to wash. Oh, did I do that one? No, I didn't. And the door came off. Alright, so we've got 3 things to glue in now. Alright, I can live with that. Well, right said Fred, that's one clean Spitfire. Looking rather good. What I might do is take some shots afterwards. That's wobbly. Silver seat. Were they supposed to be silver or were they supposed to be green? Because I painted this silver because that's what they told me to, but I see a lot of guys, I did a review on that so I knew where to put this back. The guys, and they all 5Bs were painting the seats green. Which is quite strange. Shame about that one. Alright. Now this young fella here. I used to mount him so that it looked like he was... He just sits in, but he gets in a little bit further than that without me going over the top. But it looked like at least he was trying to get in the plane. A lot of people go on about whether or not they like to have the pilot or people in it. But I see a large move now for redoing the Aces, which is Gallon, Douglas Bader, Johnny Johnson and a couple of other German pilots to be standing beside their craft as an add to the concept. But what is that? They gave you a pilot to put in the plane to make it look like it was a proper aircraft. not just a standing toy. So that's good. Alright, all I need to do is find that. I think I know where it is. Right, so Brett, we'll call that a very quick clean Spitfire MkV. Painted silver, as I said, but cockpit. I'm going to put that thing back in there.